So it's week 5 in Intro to Web Programming. We finally got online and did our quiz. So we're going to go back to work on our Barry Eats website. We want to start by allowing users to delete. But we talked about that we're going to want to make sure we give users a confirmation. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take just a minute. You can talk to the person next to you. I want you to make a quick list. You can just make this list in a text file, a Word document, or Excel. I want you to make a list of all the steps, not the code, but just the steps we're going to need to do in order to be able to delete with a confirmation here. So make a list of steps. There's probably going to be somewhere between 5 steps and 7 steps we're going to need in order to make this process work. So make a quick list, and then we'll translate that list into some comments, and then we'll write the code to get this working. So our question is, what steps do we need? What things are we going to have to do in order to be able to delete a restaurant and give the user a confirmation? So we're not thinking in terms of writing code. We'll do the code together. Just think about the process. How's this going to work? Yep. So just make a list. Make a little text file with a list of the steps. You can talk to Dihi about it. You guys can figure it out together. We'll probably need somewhere between 5 and 7 steps. Yeah, I think. Okay, I'm going to make a list here. You make your own list. We'll talk about it together, and then I'll put the steps on Blackboard for everybody. But I'm giving you a chance to think it through, talk to the people at your table for a minute first. List. Right? Yep. List going, what we're going to do. Be able to get a copy of the code. All right, so we'll compile our lists together. What's one thing on your list we're going to have to do? Okay, so we'll add a delete button. Do we need one delete button or multiple? Yeah, probably to each row. Okay. And you said confirmation? Okay, that's good. Anything else we're going to have to do? We'll probably have to do that first. I'm going to use jQuery. We'll probably need to connect that in first, and then we can add a confirmation button. Yep. What else on your list? Jill? Okay, so we need to identify which record. This is an important point. We want to make sure we're deleting the right record. So we'll need array. You should. Oh. Right, so only if they click OK. Yep, do we do it? Yeah. Yep. Now, because we're working, if I'm working on a local database, we probably won't even see the page refresh. That if it works, that restaurant we delete should just disappear right away. It will happen so fast, we almost won't see any difference at all. So that's pretty much the process. We're going to have to do some things on our restaurant page on the front end. Now, here's a question. So this stuff's going to happen on our restaurants page right here. We add a bunch of delete links and let's open a message. If they click cancel, nothing happens. If they click OK, where should we write this server-side code to grab the ID, do the delete, and refresh? Sorry? Well, we don't want to do it in the workbench because we need it to happen in the browser. So we can't write our code in Workbench. The code has to be part of our PHP application. So where's the code to do those things going to live? Joe, you have a suggestion? Okay, so we could make basically a hidden page that will take the ID, do the delete, and then bring the user back to this page. So we can create a delete page, but that page is never actually seen. We take an ID in, we delete, and then we just take them back here. That's probably the simplest way to do it. All right. So I'll maybe just add that in a hidden page. So there's our process. I've just saved this on Blackboard. Right? So this is what we're going to do in order to get this to work. So adding the delete link, you guys should be able to do this before I do it. So in your restaurants page, in your restaurants.php, we have 3 columns right now. name, address, and phone. I want you to add a fourth column inside of the loop, and in there, create a link that says the word delete. You should be able to do this on your own. Create a column here. You can actually create a column heading, maybe make the column heading say actions, because we'll put in delete and then we'll put an edit in the same column later. Add a heading called actions. In here, put in links that say delete. And each one of these should be clickable. To try and do this, see if you can get it to show up. We'll go through it together in a minute. You'll need a new TH in your header row, and you'll need a new set of TD and NTD tags inside of your loop after the phone number. Done already? Here's a hint, you're going to need A tags. So we don't just want the text delete to appear, we want it to be clickable. So we'll need that wrapper of those HTML anchor tags. Let's work. Restarting. If yours done, you can try and find a Bootstrap class that will turn your links red or delete. So any suggestions of what I would add to my page here? Where would I go? I need to basically add to 2 lines of code. Where would I go to add the heading? Okay, so on line 28, what would I put in here? I'll put in another heading. I noticed in a few of your assignments, you just copied my work from class because your table had like 5 or 6 columns, but you only put 3 headings in because I only had 3 headings in our file in class. So some of you didn't bother to put headings for all of your columns. You only did 3 because that's what we had in class. So that creates another column here. Yep. So now how do we get those delete links into each row? Where would I go to do that? Really? Yep, where in the for each? Ah, okay. Yep. That's going to give me a delete link. Right now it doesn't go anywhere, but it will make it a link. We've added one more column inside our loop. It looks like these, so these links don't go anywhere. I have a link inside each one. Okay, good question. We'd add a class. Okay, that would make it an actual button. If we wanted to make it a link that's just red, we can use, we have text danger, that'll be red. So different ways to do it. We could make a button, we could make it a span. All of those would be correct. We just need one of Bootstrap classes that has danger. So it's got an alert danger, a button danger, there's also a text danger. All of those are red. Any one of those would work. So if I say class equals text danger, I get red. If I had done it the way Jill suggested with VPN danger, it'll be a red button with white text. So either of these would work. Whatever you like, really, is fine. Okay, so now we need to deal with 2 things on our links. Let's go back to our process for a minute. Yes. So in Bootstrap, any class that has danger in it will be red. So when I used BTN danger, it was a red button with white text. When I used text danger, that's just red text. But Bootstrap uses a few color schemes. So it uses danger in red. So if we want error messages, we've got success, which will give us green. Info is generally light blue. Warning is yellow. So those are built in. So we've got buttons, text, labels, where if we refer to success, warning, info, or danger, we have access to kind of those color schemes. So for delete, I think red is good, right? Because we're drawing attention to the user. So we want this link to go to a hidden page, and we also need to include the ID when we call that page. So maybe we'll call our page delete restaurant PHP. That's the page we want to go to when the user clicks our delete link. If you refresh your page in the browser and click a delete link, what happens? I think we should get a different result. Try it. What happens? Yeah, you should get a 404 error right now. Why will loading and clicking one of the delete links give us a 404 page? You got blank? Okay, that must have to do with your error handling settings. Why did I get 404? Because we haven't created this page yet. We're going to create it, but it doesn't yet exist. So this behavior is expected. Now there's one other problem. Right now, even when we create the page, what's wrong with our links? They work, but they're incomplete. Well, yes, we do need the confirmation as well, but we're missing something else here. Well, we don't have a page. Right now, they all go to the exact same place. Even once we have our delete page is not going to know which restaurant did the user click on. So it can't delete anything. So what will we have to do with these links so that when we click one and go to our delete page, the page knows which restaurant it is? How can we do this? Right, we're going to have to attach the ID onto each link. So when we click one and go to the next page, we've passed the ID. So we don't actually use a form for this, but it's similar. So in here, on our links, and it get kind of messy, we're going to add question mark. We're basically going to do a get. We're passing a value on the end. So this question mark means after this is a list of parameter names and values. So we want to pass a parameter name called restaurant ID. So now we need to do this messy part. This is a PHP variable, so I'm going to put it outside. So I just added, so we need all of this inside our href tag. So all of this goes inside of our double quotes. So now when we click our delete link, it should be passing a restaurant ID value to the next page. And then we can use the get array to identify the ID and run our query. So I'll just try this out and make sure our syntax is correct. And then when I click delete, notice it passes in 1003 for this restaurant. Click a different one. So we haven't built this page yet, but now we can use get to pull the ID out of the URL and then use that in doing our SQL command. So we know which restaurant the user clicked on. Now I've made this syntax kind of complicated with all of the quotes. We can rewrite this with a set of curly braces that might make it easier. So we'll maybe try it. I'm going to rewrite this. So this will work, but maybe this will be simpler if I do it this way. So by putting curly braces around for variables, taking my single quote, we might be able to simplify the syntax a little bit and make it a little more readable. I have an issue here because I have double quotes inside of my double quotes. Let's see. One way is to escape them. I've wrapped each variable in a set of curly braces and I've escaped my double quotes. Maybe not a lot simpler, maybe a little simpler. I'll have to see if this works. Yeah, still works. But I've just escaped my HTML double quotes with backslashes. I don't know if it's a little more readable to put spaces in here. Yeah, no, it doesn't like that. Okay. Now, the other thing we're missing is we don't have a confirmation on here. So you know what? I think we'll maybe wait on this. Maybe what we'll do is 10 after 12. Why don't we maybe take a break here? I'll put what we've done so far up on GitHub. We'll come back at 12:30. We'll download jQuery and we'll add this jQuery confirmation and then we'll write our delete page.